10 o'clock. The 56th annual meeting of the corporate members of the Golden Rain Foundation of Laguna Woods, California, nonprofit mutual benefit corporation, this Thursday, November 12th, 10 a.m., Laguna Woods, California, will now come to order. And let me see, we do have a quorum. Okay, yes, we have a quorum. Yvonne, I'm looking for Yvonne. She is going to be leading the Pledge of Allegiance. And I don't see her. I think people may be having a problem getting in. So, I'm going to ask Judith.
Good morning,
yes?
Everybody.
Betty, I saw Yvonne over at the GRF meeting. I went in there by mistake, so she might still be at the GRF meeting.
This is the GRF meeting.
I thought this is the corporate members meeting.
Yes, but it's GRF. It's the GRF corporate members meeting.
Maybe I was on this one then, but I saw her. She was at the meeting, but I was there too early. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, I know she'll come back on. So I'm going to ask Judith if she will go ahead and lead the Pledge of Allegiance since Yvonne is not here. Thank you, okay. Judith. All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. So we know the press is listening. So the next item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Since there are no changes to the agenda is approved. So the next order of business is member comments. So Grant, do we have any comments?
We do not have any comments at this time.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to the next item. And the next item is approval of the corporate members meeting. To approve the minutes of November 13th, 2019, 55th annual meeting of the corporate members. Are there any corrections or additions to these minutes? Since there are no corrections or deletions, the minutes of November 13th, 2019 are approved. The next meeting minutes for approval is June 22nd, 2020, special meeting of the corporate members. Are there any corrections or deletions to these minutes?
Chair? Madam Chair?
Yes?
I have some corrections to E. I'm sorry. Are you on the first one? I just got in.
I'm on June 22nd.
Okay, I have some. Thank you. That's not mine.
Okay, somebody, that's Yvonne trying to get in. Okay, what are the are there Scribner corrections, Joe? On November 13th?
No.
Okay, so we'll go back to to approve the minutes of November 13th, 2019, and will you state the corrections? Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes of November 13th, 2019? Joan?
No, not for me.
Oh, no? Okay. So
No,
those
mine's
minutes are approved. All right. The next item would be June 22nd, 2020, special minute of the corporate members. Are there any corrections or additions of these minutes? Since there are no corrections or deletions, the minutes of June 22nd, 2020 are approved. Next item is July 23rd, 2020, the special meeting of the corporate members. Are there any corrections or additions to these minutes? I hear none. So the meeting minutes of July 23rd, 2020. Can you hear me? Now I'm hearing my phone ringing. Okay. For June 23rd are approved. The next item is August 31st, 2020. Special meeting special meeting of the corporate members. Are there any corrections or additions to these minutes? I hear none. So the August 31st, 2020 minutes are approved. The next item would be October 19th, 2020, special meeting of the corporate members. Are there any corrections or deletions?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Okay, in the back, it's in the attachment. Okay, I'm sorry. Page 18 of 51, near the back. They're minor. Okay. On page 18, 2.1.7, the third line down, it says, any proposed business, comma, activity. Take the comma out. I think it was supposed to be business activity.
Joan?
Can you?
Joan?
Yes.
Can I stop you for a minute because this meeting is to elect new officers, and you're talking about the GRF.
Well, I know.
Bylaw.
Okay, it's in the minutes, and I just wanted to get it straight. You don't want to correct it there.
Oh, okay.
It's just part of the minute. It's simply typos in the minutes. So page 21 of 51, 2.4.23 should have been those persons who lease, singular. And I can mail these to Grant if you want it. And then on page 23 of 51, the very top of the page, it should be exercises, plural. So that it would read, if a mutual exercises an option. That's it, just those three.
Okay, thank you. Are there any further corrections or additions to the October 19th, 2020 special meeting of the corporate members? Since there are no corrections and additions to the amended minutes, the October 19th, 2020 minutes are approved. Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the President's remarks, and I would like to take the opportunity to introduce the current board, followed by the year in review, which will be presented by each of our directors. So, first of all, the GRF Board of Directors, okay, and if you want to show them one by one, Grant, the first page we have myself as president, and then Egon as first vice president. Do you want to put the next slide on, Grant? Can you hear me? Oh, great. Okay. So we have Bert Maldo, second vice president, Judith Troutman, secretary, John Pearlstone, treasurer. Next slide, please. John Pearlstone, treasurer, James Hopkins, director, James Hopkins, Yvonne Horton, Joan Milliman, then we have the next slide, please, which is Gan Mahapade, Sue Stevens, and Don Tibbetts. The GRF board and staff put together the Golden Rain Foundation year in review. Each director chair will speak about the accomplishments in that area, and following the accomplishments, Jim Hopkins will speak on next year's vision. So I see that Yvonne has joined us. So Yvonne, will you speak on landscape? And next slide, please.
Well, thank you, Madam President. In conjunction with the Landscape Service Department, the GRF mulching license was altered to include the manure from the equestrian center, and we're composting it in with our mulching operation now. That saves us about $70,000 a year. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Mobile and vehicles, Judith Troutman. Judith.
Okay, are they going to change the slide? There we go. Obviously, it was very beneficial for us to contract with the Lyft rideshare program. This reduced our operating costs tremendously, plus added a huge convenience for the residents. So a ride could be there in 10 or 15 minutes. So it wasn't just money, it was a huge convenience for the residents. We constructed a new neighborhood-based fixed route program to improve the efficiencies and reduce the wait time. And destination shopping program was established up until COVID-19 pandemic, which caused its suspension. So I want to add, since March, our mobility and vehicle schedules were changed almost weekly, depending on the COVID updates. And so, different regulations coming down from the state. So there were a lot of changes, way too many to mention, but they were constantly changing to keep up with the state regulations and what we knew about the COVID and how it was spread. Then another really money saver is we partnershiped with AgeWell Senior Services and established a medical transportation. We were donated from Memorial Care, gave us $35,000 for that program. So we made money there. And then the AgeWell Senior Services, they parked 26 vehicles at the Service Center employees parking lot, and they lease it for $24,000 a year. So that was also a form of revenue. So mobilities and vehicles generated some revenue, beg your pardon. And that's what they did this year. Thank you.
Okay, next slide, please. Maintenance and construction, Egon Gardhoffner.
Well, thank you. As you can see in the slide, initially in 2020, we took a number of projects off the list they totaled to about $1.8 million. But I would say our best achievement was working with the Performance Arts Center. We finally reviewed this project in depth. We went and made on-site tours to determine what really needed to be done. we reduced costs in this manner. The air conditioning was supposed to be 1.3 million. We are now contracted for $515,000. We took the house lighting and power where 700,000 were to be expended. We found that much of that work was unnecessary, and we're going to do that. We're going to convert the entire building to LED lighting for $37,000. The stage curtains were going to be replaced for approximately $300,000. We realized they only needed to be cleaned and fireproofed again, and that cost will be about $21,000. So all in all, we've done a very good job in cost reduction in the PAC Center. Also, you may have noticed around some of the clubhouses, we put in attractive bollards for evening lighting so that you don't bump into things as you're walking down the sidewalk. Overall, what we're going to do is continue this process where we look in person at the projects and find out in detail what needs to be done so that we work for ourselves and our owners and not the contractors come here and try to sell us goods that we don't need. Thank you.
Thank you. Disaster preparedness. Next slide, please. Disaster preparedness, Judith Troutman.
I forgot to put my mic on. Okay, I think one of the biggest things we did on July 28th, we initiated 3 major subcommittees. One of them is something a long time coming, was a disaster plan for our animals, and not just the small animals, but there was also, we were doing a separate one for the stables. So those are both on, in the making as we speak. And the third subcommittee, which is, we've been working on that behind the scenes. Volunteers for that committee was Sue Stevens and Jim Breacher and myself. And what we've been sending around and done is that committee was to develop an addendum to the present EMP and add procedures for future pandemics and cyber terrorism. So we started that back in July, and we've been sending around a lot of information how cyber terrorism is a liability when we have employees working from home. So there's a lot of detail going around about that all the directors, even the CMs, have received by this time. And once we've done, everyone's seen that, then at the next meeting that's coming up, we'll go from there. So those were 3 very important subcommittees, I think, to improve in our preparedness for a disaster. Because if you're not prepared, you will not be successful at surviving. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. Next slide. Media and Communications, Joan Milliman.
Well, media and communications has been very busy this year. One of the first things they've done in media is to replace all the standard definition set-top boxes, and they've converted the stations, most of them, to high definition. The new Village Breeze, I'm sure you're familiar with by now. It has incorporated all the old newsletters that were out there, and we got a large grant from, this is not the right slide, I'm sorry. We got money from Monarch for 3 years to publish this magazine. The Fox West channels that were deleted, the Prime Ticket Fox West channels saved us $1.5 million in annual programming fees, and it reduced our cable television rates per man or per month from $19.32 down to $10.96. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. The new resident orientations were stopped during COVID-19, but have been resumed in virtually in October. And you have to call in to make a reservation to become a part of that, but they're very worthwhile. The Communications Committee established temporary rules that were developed for COVID-19. The committee didn't establish it, but they gave updates for easy access on the Laguna Woods Village website. And also they were helpful in managing the Ayers Hotel crisis, where we were going to have homeless folks housed in the Ayers Hotel next to our property. This day broadcast is increased from 5 days per week to 6 days per week. Next slide, please.
Oh, Director Milliman, I just wanted to state that it was Memorial Care.
I know, these are the wrong slides. I'm sorry, that's why yeah, thank you, Memorial Care, right. Next slide. You know, I'm sorry, we had 3 slides that are not in there. You have to go ahead.
Yes. Grant, can you go back, because there was one on COVID-related communications? Okay.
I'm sorry, these are the wrong slides. These were not the final copy.
Okay. Do you want me to go ahead and read it since you don't have it there, and then you can comment on it? So some of the items that Joan is not able to report on is produced medical roundtable and local medical professionals to educate residents about COVID-19, secured face mask donations and organized distribution at no cost to residents, featured CEO Jeff Parker on Village Television TV 2 to 3 times per week to update residents, increased TV this day broadcast to 6 days a week, and then successfully managed Ayers Hotel and established temporary rules and development current COVID-19 updates for easy access on the Laguna Woods website. Sorry, Joan. And thank you. So let's go on to the next slide, which would be security community access. All right, Don Tibbetts.
Yeah, I finally got on. Thank you, Benny. One of the biggest things that happened this year in security was the hiring of Carlos Rojas, who took the place of Tim Moy. Carlos is an excellent man. He was, for your information, was the chief of police in Santa Ana. The committee oversaw the completion of the gate access program with the installation of gate 11. We also installed the gates at RV parking lot B, and placed the main services center gate. Was budgeted for $92,000. We came in at $82,000. Security offices set up a recognition wall that recognizes outstanding accomplishments of our patrol officers, and we have many. Safety and security remain quite high in the village, with 24-hour patrols by officers. Another item that I would like to mention is the LED walking lighting in clubhouses 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 have been completed. They were budgeted at $200,000, and we accomplished that for $52,000, a big savings. Shepherd's Crook at Gate 3 has been completed or budgeted, and it's going to replace the barbed wire over a period of time. And we are meeting this obligation one section at a time. And the EV charging stations at the maintenance service center came under budget by $50,000, so we saved a lot of money there also. I'd just like to conclude by saying that we do live in one of the safest communities in the nation of a community this size. Thank you, Bonnie.
Community activities, John Crowstone.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So I think community activities this year has been the ultimate definition of doing the best they can in a very trying time, but there were some highlights to share. Taking advantage of the time available to do some staff cross-training, trying to find ways to make things more efficient and effective, and the highlight of that is at the bottom of the slide, without a doubt. Hopefully the start of a big trend village-wide where they've set up online reservations. They're going well. They're accurate. They're relatively easy to use. And that's been a big improvement for a big need we had pre-COVID. So hopefully that's going to turn out to be a long-term significant benefit for all of us. You want to jump to the next slide, Graham? So I would argue that Egon covered probably the most important thing as far as facility improvements, and that is what we didn't do versus what we did. We, again, have tried to be very defensive financially, but there were certain projects that were far enough along, they were budgeted, they were not going to cause financial of a negative impact. So we did a tennis clubhouse, got the improvement, worked forward on that, some work at the equestrian center, and both of those have certain paybacks where the work we're doing will save on maintenance and repair costs. So they made sense financially at the time, but everything else has been kind of put on hold and is continuing in the planning process so we can be, cost effective as hopefully we come out of COVID in the reasonably near future. Next slide. Is that it for us? Nope, we got a few other things also. And yeah, these were the ones I wanted to make sure we mentioned, which is since I've actually taken over the Communities Activity Committee, they have been working extremely hard, responding to community requests to bring whatever they can out to the community, subject to restrictions, some of which we placed, some of which are, local and state government placed, but there are virtual classes, there's drive-in entertainment. I mentioned the reservations already. The outdoor gym has recently been open. It's running very effectively. I really want to commend the staff on some excellent protocols. I think our case count is testament that for all the concerns people are having about interacting, we've kept things very under control, and a big credit goes to our staff for rolling out activities in an intelligent way that has, prevented, too much interaction in a way that might not be safe. So it's worked out extremely well so far. Hopefully it'll continue. And again, managing costs to make sure that while things are not available, we're not needlessly spending money. The community activity savings were a big contributor to the fact we didn't have a assessment increase for GRF this year. So overall, as I said, a really strong job given some very challenging situations for the community activities folks. Hopefully our community appreciates it, and we've got more to offer coming very soon. So we'll turn it back over to you, Madam President.
So the next item is the governance amendments, and in the recreation and special events policy, the procedures that were revised, where the clubs no longer can hold an exclusive rights to vendors, entertainment performers when renting from GRF. We increased the ability of the clubs to have 4 fundraisers a year rather than just 2. And the club membership was previously 90%. And we increased that to 80%, mainly because of a demographic shift, and hoping to increase our club membership. So the small club fees are reduced from $50 to $25 a year, and the equestrian border fees were reduced from $319 to $249 a month. And I will also say that, and everyone is aware, that the fees for the use of the facilities and the equestrian border fees will remain the same for the next year. So thank you. And the next item would be the GRF vision for 2021. Jim Hopkins. Oops, I didn't read all of that, did I? I'm sorry. Go back. Yes, we did have a donation policy. We adopted that at the first of the year, and we have a policy now so that the GRF is allowed to provide cash or property up to $100K, and the bylaws are being updated. We hope that they're going to be updated before the end of the year. We are continually meeting, and there are some changes that will be able to enhance GRF, to be able to have committees, interactive committees with the other mutuals. And it's also clarified 2.1.4, and I think that this will help us going forward in our relationship with the boards. So the other thing that we did was establish the GRF Strategic Planning Committee, and John will be leading that. And it's just getting started, but it's something that GRF has never done before. So we're anxious to be able to establish long-range planning and goals benefiting the residents now and in the future. Thank you. So the next slide. That would be the 2021 vision and goals, and that's Jim Hopkins. Jim? Is he turned on, or can he? There he is. I don't see he's there, but I don't hear him. Is he muted?
He is currently unmuted.
Did you unmute him? Okay. He's having a problem, it looks like. I can see his mouth moving. Okay. He's not able to say this, so I will say it. The 2021 vision and goals continue to refine the governance, build cooperative relationships with all stakeholders, work with the mutuals to resolve the current property insurance crisis, complete Clubhouse 1 review, prioritize other critical repairs, maintenance, and improvement programs, build the GRF strategic plan, explore opportunities to mitigate GRF impact on HOA fees, improve the budgeting process through better initial project selection and cost estimation to make assessments more equitable, and explore and recommend GRF energy alternatives. So that would be the end of our presentation. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank our board, who is a fantastic board. That's all I can say. It's a great board, and next year I think that we'll be able to do great things. So the next item would be to introduce the Inspector of Elections, which is Catherine Burkhart, and she was approved as the Inspector of Elections on July 2020. And I want to acknowledge the directors whose terms have expired. So Joan Milliman, who is no stranger to the GRF board, she has served as Secretary and Chair of Communications. And Bert Maldo, has served on boards for many years and promotes new energy ideas for this village. Sue Stevens, who comes from Mutual 50 and served for a short time, benefited the board with her impressive background in energy and operational audit. Judith Troutman served on boards for many years, and I can't say enough about her knowledge of the governing documents and participation in many years. Judith was devoted to getting the village prepared for a disaster and made tremendous contributions to the Disaster Preparedness Task Force. So thank you all. The next item would be to introduce the candidates that will be running and will be voting on today, and they'll be filling the vacancies for the directors for a 3-year term. So the first person is Mark Greenman. Is he here? Okay.
I do not see him currently
Joan Milliman.
on the meeting.
Bunny, we lost your volume. We can't hear you.
Okay, how about now? Do you hear me now?
I hear you.
No, yes? Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. I moved the phone. Okay, so I'll go over that. Mark Greenman, Joan Milliman, Bert Maldo, Lynn Stanley, and I don't know if Lynn is here.
Anybody here, Bunny?
Can you hear me?
I can hear her.
I can hear her.
Okay, thank you. I can turn my volume up here, but I don't know if that only helps me. Okay, so everybody did hear the candidates? Okay,
Yes.
I'll repeat them. Okay, so the last one is Sue Stevens. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Catherine Burkhardt so that she can give you the instructions as far as the voting procedure and then the balloting. So Catherine.
Yes, good morning,
Is Catherine
directors.
here?
You can hear me?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Good morning.
That's okay. Yeah.
On October 26, official ballots were sent to all corporate members. They had until 8 a.m. this morning to drop ballots in the community center ballot box. The remainder of the directors will be voting during this meeting. I will be standing outside once we begin balloting in the front of the community center, and I will be accepting ballots for a 30-minute period. And I'd like to request a motion to commence balloting.
Madam Chair? Madam Chair?
Okay, yes, Joan?
I move we commence balloting.
Madam Chair, I think we need to clarify a few things. I would like to ask some questions to the candidates, if that is possible, before voting.
You have a motion.
I second that.
Okay, the motion is to commence balloting.
According to Wikipedia, in physics, motion is the phenomenon.
Phone thinks I'm talking to it. So we have a motion to commence balloting, and Joan made the motion, and if there are no objections, the motion is approved. So, Cash?
You're muted.
I can't hear you.
You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I would like to amend the motion because we need an opportunity to talk to the candidates, get some of their views before we can cast our votes.
Madam Chair, point of order.
Yes,
Point of order.
yes, Joan.
We had a
Yes, Joan.
meeting where everyone met the candidates. It's not necessary to meet them again today, Cash.
Well,
And
that meeting
Judith?
was optional, and I did not attend that meeting. This is when we are supposed to vote.
Judith?
So,
Okay,
Judith?
if I have the floor now, yes, Mark Greenham has been having difficulty getting on. I think he said no one told him and invited him to this meeting, but he was trying to get on with the old link. So I just forwarded him the new one that Grant gave us. And so there he is. It looks like he just now finally got on. So he is here if we were to waive that rule. He would like to speak only if you allow it. So, but he is here now.
There has to be a motion.
Okay.
To suspend.
Will you repeat that, Joan?
There has to be a motion to suspend the rules, and you vote on whether you're going to suspend the rules and allow Mark to speak or not.
Are there any objections?
Yes,
I'm not fair,
Yes,
John
I
Barnes.
object.
yes, I object.
Yes.
You have several objections.
Madam Chair,
If they
point of
see
order.
Yes?
anybody, despite
We have a motion
I've sent to Bunny and
and
Judith,
there's no
vote
second to that
if
motion.
I don't know who I'm voting.
We have two people talking.
Right, and I can't hear you.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, can I talk now?
No,
My
you're
name-
not recognized.
Yes, please talk, Rita. Yes, please talk, Rita.
I have sent email to you as well as Judith. We did not receive the CVs of the candidates, and I cannot vote for people I don't know. So I don't know what we have to do now.
The
Madam Chair.
Okay,
CVs,
there are also 7 people.
I can't believe it.
Okay,
Then I would like to make a motion, Madam Chair, to amend the motion by allowing, the motion that's on the floor, by allowing candidates to speak if they wish before we take that final vote, before we commence the balloting.
I would just like to make
Okay.
one statement. It's my understanding the CVs were sent with the official ballots on October 26th. That's my understanding.
The problem was that not just me, but 2 United officers did not receive them.
Then,
For some reason,
I need a second from somebody.
I'll second.
yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Jim.
All those in
You
favor?
need to take a vote, right?
Okay.
All those in favor?
Raise your hand if you're in favor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
How many? Okay.
Opposed?
Okay,
Definitely more yeses.
all right.
Yes.
Grant, did you count them and the motion passes?
Yes.
I
Simple majority.
So, President Carpenter, I wasn't able to get an exact count on the motion through hand raise. Would you possibly wish to do a roll call vote so we may know the results of the vote?
Yes, you can do that. And it takes some
Point of
time.
order.
Yes.
Point of order.
All
Okay.
right. I will now go ahead and do a roll call vote. Annie
Thank you.
McCary.
What is the motion we're voting on, Madam Chairman? The motion we're voting on.
The current
Repeat the
motion
motion.
that we are voting on is whether to let the candidates make a statement and ask questions to the candidates.
Okay, all those in, so now we're gonna count the votes, all those in favor.
Right. So
No, you
In a
roll call.
I
Roll
will, yes,
call.
it will happen by roll call.
Roll call, right.
So so I will start once
Annie.
more. Annie McCary.
Yes.
Anthony Liberatore.
No.
Carl Randazzo.
Yes.
Craig Wayne.
Craig, we can't hear you. The speaker's off.
Yeah.
We can come back to him. Okay.
I will come back. Kush Bada.
Yes.
Debbie Dotson.
Yes.
Donna Rain Shostak.
Yes.
Elsie Addington.
No.
John Carter.
John?
No.
John Frankel.
Yes.
Lynn Jarrett.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And Manuel Almendarez is yes? All right.
Yes.
Neda Ardani.
I'm so sorry. I was disconnected. Can you just repeat the question? I'm so sorry.
The motion is to allow candidates to speak and be asked questions.
Okay, yes. Thank you.
Cash Akrakar.
Yes.
Ralph Engdahl.
Yes. Yes.
Reza Bastani.
No, I believe we should get the CVs first and look at them before we have a vote. Thank you.
Yes or no, Rez?
We're doing what you wanted, Riza. Yes or no?
No, you're not doing what I want. There's no time to ask questions now. What I want is to get the CVs so we can look at them, and then we have another session, and then we vote. Thank you.
That's against the state law. We can't do that. It's against the state law.
Reza Karimi.
Yes.
Robert Muchnick.
Yes.
Steve Parsons.
Yes.
Sue Margolis.
Sue? Okay, go on to the next one.
Is Craig Wayne able to speak?
Yes.
Your vote is yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, your vote is, he's marked as voting yes. All right, so the last vote we are waiting for is Sue Margolis.
I have a question also. This is Reza. Karimi? Can I ask?
No, this is not.
Well, let us finish the vote first. We need to finish the vote.
Ask a question. I don't have the ballot. I don't have ballot. How I'm going to be able to vote if I don't have the ballot? Why the answer is always no by you guys? I don't have the ballot. How I'm going to vote?
Okay, first we need to complete, the voting. So are we done with the voting?
We have one.
Grant?
We have a final vote that we are trying to receive from Sue Margolis.
Madam Chair,
Okay.
this is Steve Parsons.
Steve?
I just called her.
Yes?
And, she's at the community center. She says no is her vote.
Okay. All right. Grant, did the vote pass?
One moment.
Yes,
Did the vote?
15 yes.
So,
Yes, the vote passed.
okay. So the motion passed. So we will ask, let's see, either, I would prefer, that you put your name in the chat box so that Grant can call you, and when you're asking these questions. So all those, I'm hoping that each one of you, know how to put your name in the chat box. I'm not getting any response here. If you're not going to put your name in the chat box,
I put my name in the chat box.
Okay, cool.
Our
All right,
first
thank you.
first question. President Carpenter, are we ready for questions? President Carpenter, are we ready for questions?
Yes, we are.
First question is from Cash Akrakar.
Before I ask my question, I thought the candidates wanted to speak, and then we ask questions.
No, actually, you ask questions now at this particular meeting because they had an opportunity to speak at the meeting of the candidates. So we're looking at taking this time right now for the individual questions that you may have for the candidate.
I have a couple of questions for Mark Greenman. Question number one. You have not filled how long you have lived in Laguna Woods Village on that form. That place was left blank. And in your statement, you're talking you started in Laguna Woods in November 2019.
That's correct.
I
moved in on November 4th, 2019, which was 2 days after my birthday.
Okay, my second question relates to, are you Mr. Mark Allen Greenspan of Minnesota?
Did you get my emails I sent out yesterday to everybody?
I got yours, but I just want to confirm that by asking you personally before I vote.
Yes, I thought I said in the email that I was confirming that I was in fact Mark Allen Greenman. Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to ask. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Brett, who's the next person to speak?
Yes, the next person is Reza Karimi.
Okay, as I said, I don't have the ballot. How I'm going to get the ballot to vote? I never received ballot.
During the recess, you may pick up a duplicate ballot at the community center.
Okay. The other one, I'm going to just have to say the same thing that Proctor said, that I really have not seen anything from any of the candidates as their resume or the bio, also I received letters back and forth from anonymous sources and from one of the candidates. Does anybody know what the heck is going on with these issues, and anybody try to resolve them? Because we're trying to vote somebody as our trustee, and with everything that's going on, that's becoming a very, very disturbing issue for everybody.
A point of order, you have to ask a question to one of the candidates. Are you expecting the candidates to answer those questions?
But then why I'm asking a question if I don't expect an answer, Judith?
Yeah, the question has to be directed to one of the candidates. That's the motion we just voted on. That's the only thing we're allowed to do right now, is to ask a candidate a question. So you need to phrase that towards one of the candidates.
Well, the question is twofold. One fold is I don't have any bio for any of them. I can address the question. The second is the information that I received through the mail from anonymous and one of the candidates, which is Mark, and I want clarification before we put a trust in anybody to serve as a board. So if any of the candidates that's involved with that would give the answer, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, and I believe he said he sent you an email answering your question.
I didn't.
He sent you
that's the whole issue.
Yeah. Okay, and then as far as the rest of the stuff, that's not appropriate questions for a candidate, because they don't know the background, and they don't know who delivered them, and that's not an appropriate question. We need to ask them about themselves and how they're going to deal with business and what they want to change for being a board member and those kinds of things. So, Bunny, you need to go to the next question.
Okay, no, I'm going to rephrase my question, Judith. Don't brush me off. I want to rephrase my question, please. Okay?
Please rephrase your question.
Okay. Can I continue with my question?
Well, Mrs. Stanley, I don't think she's here.
Well, are you cutting me off? Or you're not allowing me to continue with my question? That question is for Judith and Bonnie. Are you guys allowing me to ask questions?
Basically, we said yes. And then you said you wanted to ask Miss Stanley a question, and Miss Stanley is not available.
No, I didn't ask. I'm going to ask the question about the letter that I received about the candidate. One of the candidates, name is Mark. I want the candidate that not appropriate to discuss here. I want to hear what he's going to say about what we received through the mail, anonymous, and what his justification for being on the board.
Sir, if that question is directed at me, it's an extremely long story, and I tried to short-circuit this by sending you emails. I sent you a paper I wrote about naltrexone, the drug to help me get sober, and I also sent you a part of a petition that I am doing to get my law license reinstated in Minnesota. It's dealing with all of this. I was hoping you were going to read that. That's why I sent it out. But I'll answer any question you have of me.
Are you disputing what is written in that anonymous letter?
Absolutely not. And I also told you at the very outset when I submitted my information that alcohol derailed my life and my career. So I told you about this at the outset.
Sir, I understand that. Everybody has difficulty in their life. I'm not digging in your life. I'm asking a question about what was said, and you have a right to defend yourself as what they said against you. That's what I'm trying to get.
I can give you a 30-page memorandum about the substantive issues in that thing, but this isn't the appropriate time for that. If you're worried about my fitness to serve on the board, that's what you should be worried about. I've been sober for 3.5 years. I'm on top of my game, and that's ancient history, and I'm getting my license back.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer.
Okay. Are there any further questions?
Would you like Cheryl to read the statement?
I have a question.
Pardon, I didn't.
Okay,
Judith?
Everyone's got it.
Yeah, who's before me? Is someone before me? There's Debbie Dotson's before me?
Before that, President Carpenter, Cheryl Silva
Debbie
would like
had a
to read a
question.
statement.
I didn't quite hear you. It was not coming clear. Will you repeat that, please?
I will. President Carpenter, Cheryl Silva would like to read a statement.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to let the corporate members know that we interviewed all the candidates at the Meet the Candidates event on October 19th. And then all the ballots and the candidate statements and information was mailed out to all of the corporate members on October 26th. If anyone is missing a ballot, we can prepare a duplicate ballot that you can pick up from the Inspector of Elections during the recess so that you can vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, are there any other people that are going to make comments?
Bonnie, this is John. You said you were going to read in the chat box. Hang on, you said you were going to read in the chat box, and people are asking questions in the chat box, but you're not calling on them.
Well,
trying
yes,
to keep
we
the
will.
Order.
Yep.
And I wanted Grant to call in the order. And I can't tell when I'm looking at the chat box who is the next person.
Did Debbie Dotson have a question?
Yes, I do. Okay, Mike, I have two questions. One is the candidate named Lynn on this call? Because she should be allowed to be on the call. That's number one. Number two, my question is for Mark. Mark, are you a legal owner in the village?
I am, yes. I've been owner since day one.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard there was a rumor going around that I was a renter and I hadn't been here long enough to be eligible. So whoever started that rumor is 100% false.
Okay, that was my question. And I also feel that the other candidate, if anybody had a question for her, that she should be invited to this call.
I did. I called her. She had the same problem as Mark. No one sent them any links, which was a horrible oversight on someone's part, and really sad. So they're always invited to the election. So she'll be here shortly, as soon as she can get on. But then I'm after Debbie. When Lynn comes, I guess we can talk to her. But I have a question for Mark right after Debbie.
I'm done.
Okay, until Lynn gets here. Mark, the amount of time you've been here, you've been getting caught up a little bit on what GRF's been doing, and I know we're not business as usual because of the COVID. So you're coming in at a sort of an odd time that not business as usual. So what are your plans to get involved? How are you going to get involved? And what types of things are you looking to address as far as things you see are problems in the village or things that need to be addressed? And how are you going to do that?
Well, couple things. I've heard from some members that their complaints about how some board members will show up for a meeting and then not do anything for a month and show up for the next meeting, and that's not my style. I want to be active, and that's why I'm running. I'm not running to do nothing. I'm running to be as active as I possibly can. So there's really no worry about that. Specifically, what I have in mind, the very first thing that I think needs to be done is I think a 20-foot fence needs to go around each of those trees in Aliso Creek Park. Those trees are exceptionally dangerous, they have these football-sized pods that fall down, and they're about 9 or 10 pounds. If they hit somebody, it could kill them. And you could construct a 4-foot-high, nice-looking picket fence around each tree that would take care of that problem. That's the easy problem. That's probably very cheap. And it would get rid of that unsightly sign that we presently have there that people are complaining about. So that's number one. The bigger goal that I would have is somehow replacing the bus system with some sort of what I envision is like a delivery system, delivery drivers, where they're full-time employees and their sole job is to pick people up at their doorsteps, take them where they're going, wait for them, bring them back home, and help them unload their things. People wouldn't have to drive to the bus, wouldn't have to walk to the bus stop anymore, be much more efficient, and it would save an ungodly amount of money. So, but I would need to look into that very deeply and very intensely before I could have any specific ideas on that. But those are probably the two big things I'm thinking of.
Okay, thank you.
Next question is Reza Bastani.
On the ballot, there is one option, I withhold my vote. What does that mean?
That option means that you are not...
Catherine?
What happens if you withhold your vote?
Catherine, can you answer that question?
Yes, it means that you're participating in the process, but not casting votes for particular candidates.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Grant, the next one.
The next question is, I see again from Cash Akrakar, if you'll permit that, President Carpenter.
Pardon?
Madam Chair, I was wondering if we can vote directly to the organizer instead of driving over to cast our vote. It still will be a secret vote. Are we allowed to do that, or we have to drive all the way to community?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Answer that.
I did not hear the question. Could you repeat, Mr. Bastani? Oh, Cash Ashokar. Sorry, Director Ashokar.
Yes, I will do that. What I'm wondering is if we send our vote directly to the organizer of the meeting, that is again a secret vote. Why do we have to drive? Don't we have to drive to the community center to cast a vote? That's the only thing I'm asking.
So
there was
okay, Kat.
So there was a deadline.
Catherine, can you answer that, or we'll have?
I believe I can. There was a deadline to drop the ballot into the ballot box at the community center by 8 a.m. this morning. Any director, and we received 9 of those ballots from different directors. The remaining directors, the process is they need to come within that 30-minute window and deliver their ballot to me as I will be standing outside collecting your secret ballot. And you were given an envelope to put your ballot into. Does that answer your question?
Fine by me, but when people, the reason I'm saying is some people didn't get the ballots, and is there a process now for them to make the new ballot?
Yes.
Give it to them, or I'm willing to go and drop the ballot, but no question.
Yes, so after we're done with the questions, if I could get the names of the directors who still need an official ballot. I know Reza Karimi is one that needs a ballot. But again, if we could get those names after we have finished general questions related to the process or the candidates. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Captain.
you're welcome.
Okay, I'm letting Grant call I know Judith has got her hand up. I don't think she's in the chat box, but go ahead, Judith.
Okay.
Answer the other question about voting. The law says it has to be secret ballot. That's why we cannot just vote online here like you asked. So that was the other question you had asked that didn't get answered. We, by law, have to do this by closed ballot. That's why we can't just do it online here. And Lynn said she's been trying to get on, and the presenter's not letting her on. So I sent her the second link. Maybe she'll have more luck with that. I don't know why she can't get on. I don't know what's happening there. So that's the issue right now. She's going to try calling in on her phone to see if she can get in that way.
Grant, can you give her a call and see if you could connect her in some way?
We will contact her.
Thank you.
I believe she has.
Okay, who's the next one, Grant?
I believe she has called in as caller 6 on the screen. Is that Lynn Stanley?
Yes, and you would not let me in. I'm sorry. I've been trying. I've been trying. Yes. So I don't know why from the beginning, but here I am.
People have questions for you.
Sure.
All right. So the next question is Anthony Liberatore.
Hello?
I believe he said he left the room because he went to drop his ballot off. If you read the rest of the things, Grant.
All right, that sounds great. If we
have not commenced balloting as of yet, so.
Right. We need to get our questions in. So we were supposed to go back to Debbie because when Lynn came on, so we need to keep our promise. So Deb should be able to ask Lynn her question now. Since Lynn's
Well,
on
I
the phone.
didn't have a question for Lynn. I just wanted to make sure she was able to listen to this call. That was my only comment.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have a question for Lynn. See, Anthony left. Teresa. Okay, I have a question from Ms. Stanley. Is Cash, did you ask your question?
I do have a question.
Okay, you're next. Go ahead, ask your question to Lynn.
I need to ask the question. When I read her bio, okay.
Sorry, you're going in and out.
Is floor mine? Am I talking?
I'm hearing you in and out. Maybe Judith can repeat the question.
Yeah, we're having trouble with your microphone's going in and out. Cash, repeat the question.
Yeah, my question to Lynn is, in her bio description, she is talking about total of 3 years, but she has been a member only for 4 months. Can she still be a candidate for GRF? I thought by law you have to have 1 year membership, ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, I don't know if she's able to answer that, but our bylaws say she qualifies as long as she's been in the community for 6 months. That's at how the bylaws read. And the state law now has changed.
She doesn't have to be an owner for 6 months or more.
Right, correct.
Okay, all right, that was my question.
Thank you, Judith. Okay, Grant, will you go ahead and take over the meeting? Are there any, not take over the meeting, but take over the questioning?
Yes, I understand. One moment, make sure.
I don't. Okay.
I'm currently viewing the comments to see if there is questions for Ms. Stanley.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any questions for her. Do you?
Yeah, mine's there. 11:15.
All right. If you would like to ask your question, go ahead.
Okay, this one is for Lynn. I've already asked Mark a question. It's the same question. Since you're coming in during COVID and we're not business as usual, as we normally are, thinking about why you decided to become a director and what things you think either need fixing or more attention, or what issues do you want to address if you are elected? Go.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to respond to this, and also thanks for getting me in the meeting. One of the things I would like to address in coming in, again, I have been a tenant here for almost 2 years in my past history, but now I am a owner. So I've been as an owner. I'm now coming in during the COVID, not before. So I have experience with what that was like. I'm more of the posture that I would like to be more impactful on residential or resident customer experience, and not so led by what everybody thinks needs to get done without knowing what the residents are looking for as well. So I would like to have a little bit more involvement in the communication, information dissemination into the board. That's pretty much where I'm starting from.
Thank you. Okay, I think
okay, Grant.
We've taken care of this motion. We can go back to the main motion to commence balloting.
Well, we have another person here.
Another question?
I thought we were going to ask questions. I've been in the chat box.
Yes, I was going to
to
address Carl Randazzo's question next.
I have 2 items. One is that I'm a United Board member, and I received the CVs and the ballot in an envelope that was delivered to me by a security guard. So I don't know what the story is, but I did get the CVs and the ballot in an envelope from a security guard. Secondly, the ballot specifically states, and I'm talking about the individual who's the elector, specifically said that we were going to accept ballots by 8 o'clock in the morning, yet the ballot itself, at the top of the ballot, it says, and I will quote, instructions, please do not mark your ballot until instructed to do so by the Inspector of Elections. So we're inconsistent. Read the thing.
That was referring to during. Oh, I'm sorry. So that instruction related just to during the meeting, not for those who submitted their ballot in the community center ballot box. It was just during this meeting, before we commence balloting.
Well, it's confusing. It's confusing. So that's what it says right at the top here. It's confusing. For the next time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Grant, who's the next person?
The next person we have is Sue Margolis.
We at our board meeting used the send to the representative, and it is a closed thing, and it is the organizer. Send your vote to the organizer, because it is a vote that's possible to be, no one else can see it, and it is a secret ballot. And I drove up there, but I think it's ridiculous to have everybody drive up there when you could just have each person tell the organizer their votes. It would be much more gasoline cost effective.
You know, Sue, I have no comment on that, because I think Judith basically stated the law.
Secret ballot, and this would be a secret ballot. It doesn't say it has to be a written ballot. We did all our election that way, and it was perfectly legal to Jeff Beaumont for us to do our election that way, because it is a ballot.
Who's right?
This is an open meeting, not a closed meeting. Joan Milliman. Joan?
This is not the time to change the rules for this meeting. I think we should proceed as we should and drive up, drop your ballots if you haven't already voted. And everybody's received all the information they need. And we need to get on with what we're doing. So I'm calling for orders of the day.
Yes, and I agree, and we can always work on a different process in the future. But I think we should continue as planned on this particular in this particular meeting. So my only question, Grant, is there any more comments? Any more questions?
All right.
If there's no more questions, no.
I see no more questions.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. So we need to entertain a motion to commence balloting.
There is a motion on the floor.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. And we have a second, right?
Yes.
Okay. So all those in favor, to commence balloting, and Catherine, would you take over again the process?
Yes, so I wanted to get all of the names of the directors that still need a duplicate ballot. I have Reza Karimi. Is there anyone else?
I'm sorry, point of order, Madam Chair. We need to take the vote first and then let Catherine speak. Excuse me.
All in favor?
You can just do it by objection. Bunny's going to have to see everybody turn on their screen.
Okay. All right. If there are no objections, then the motion passes. Okay, Catherine?
Sure.
Please proceed.
Okay, so Reza Karimi, I have needing a duplicate ballot. Are there any other directors that need a duplicate ballot that have not submitted a ballot already? No other duplicate requests. Okay. So then at 11:53. So
what you're saying is we will commence.
Yes, we will begin.
I can't hear you.
We will begin balloting and conclude at 11:53.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're recessing now, and we'll all come back at 11:53 so that we can we can understand, we can cease the balloting. I'm sorry. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you at 11:53. Thank you. Okay. Is there a motion to cease balloting? Do I hear a motion?
Sure, I'll move.
I made a motion to start.
Okay, if there are no objections, we will cease balloting. The motion passes. And Catherine, will you be able to please give us the results of the balloting?
I will, yes, we're just starting counting right now.
So what you're going to want to do on your microphone is say ballot one. You're going to do United first.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to be starting with United first. Right, 1, 2. Okay. Ballot 1 for United. There's a vote for Mark Greenman, a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot 2 is a vote for Mark Greenman, a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot 3 is a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot 4 is a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot number 5 is a withhold my vote. And that's all. Ballot 6 is a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot number 7 is a vote for Mark Greenman, a vote for Joan Milliman. Ballot number 8 is a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens. The final 9th ballot for United Mutual is a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Third.
Ready for third?
Yeah. Okay. So ballot number 1, or are we going to choose? Okay. Ballot number 1 is a vote for Bert Moldow and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot number 2 is a vote for Mark Greenman, a vote for Bert Moldow, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot number 3 is a vote for Mark Greenman, a vote for Bert Moldow, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot number 4 is a vote for Mark Greenman, a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, and a vote for Lynn Stanley. Ballot number 5 is a vote for Joan Milliman and a vote for Bert Moldow. Ballot number 6 is a vote for Bert Moldow and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot number 7 is a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot number 8 is a vote for Bert Moldow and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot number 9 is a vote for Joan Milliman. We have ended it already, sorry. Is that, are you Azar, Director Azar?
The instruction wasn't proper on the email, what we have to do, just so you know that. They said we have to wait. If you read the email, you can see.
Okay. Ballot number 9. A vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot number 10 is a vote for Mark Greenman, a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, and a vote for Sue Stevens. And the 11th and final ballot for Third Mutual is a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Okay, so for Mutual 50, ballot 1 is a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot number 2 is a vote for Mark Greenman, a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot number 3 is a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens. Ballot number 4 is a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens. So the fifth and final ballot for Mutual 50 is a vote for Joan Milliman, a vote for Bert Moldow, a vote for Lynn Stanley, and a vote for Sue Stevens.
Can you come over here and verify let's do Mutual 50 first?
Yes.
I have one vote for Mark Greenman.
Are we talking ballot 1?
No, we're talking about all the ballots.
Okay, so for
I have one vote for Mark Greenman.
hold on.
Jenny, Azar was on this day, so she missed the deadline. Is there any way we can give her leeway or not? The problem was she was on this day.
You want to answer that question?
I'm sorry, what was the issue? Why she had missed the deadline?
She was on the TV show and didn't get off in time to get her ballot in because she was on this day being taped for a TV show that's going to be shown this week.
Well, the question is how much would it delay the meeting if we allowed the vote?
It was 7 minutes past the deadline of ballots where we ended balloting. I mean, technically we're supposed to stick to the deadlines. Opening and closing.
So let's just go ahead then. But it was a conflict of problem with a conflict of
Gotcha.
other things that she had to do.
Was there a reason she couldn't have dropped her ballot earlier?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Catherine. Will you announce the results?
About 15 minutes so you can verify.
We are calculating and verifying the results.
Thank you.
Bunny, can we have Grant send Lynn the link again? She tried calling in and she's been on hold through the phone. So, hello, can I hear you?
Yes, we will contact her.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Before we start, can we try to get Lynn Stanley on here?
Can they see me on this?
On the TV, just on the recording. But no, they can't see you.
Hello. I was just calling to get you.
I can set it so they can see you.
Probably a good idea, just because.
Okay. For Lynn Stanley.
Is Lynn? Okay.
Let us know when you're ready.
Because we are ready to announce the election results. We're just waiting on Lynn.
Yes.
I'm here.
Yes.
I'm here.
There she is. Okay.
Okay. All right. In order of top vote getter down, we had Bert Moldow with a total of 9,848 votes. Sue Stevens received 9,314 votes. Joan Milliman received 8,226 votes. Lynn Stanley, 5,908 votes. So those are the 4 elected directors. And Mark Greenman received a total of 4,000 votes.
You can share your screen.
And I'll show, yes. Which one is it?
This one, with the flower.
Okay.
And then say screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And say share.
Why don't you go ahead? And these are the election results.
And then what you can do is you can tab to each tab. So here's United.
Okay, here are the United. United individual votes? The third individual votes? And mutual 50s individual votes.
Would you mind going across that one more time?
Sure. So here are the United individual votes by candidate. Here is third mutuals individual votes by candidate. And here is mutual 50s individual votes by candidate.
Okay. Go back to the tool.
And then again, the numbers off to the side here reflect the 4 directors elected, GRF directors elected. And thank you for allowing me to count your votes today.
Honey, we can't hear you.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have to say goodbye to Judith, but we really appreciate all your hard work, and say hello to Lynn. And Lynn will need to stay and welcome her to our board, because immediately preceding this meeting, we will have officer election, and we will need for her to be a part of that. So I also want to thank Catherine. So, Catherine, is there anything else you need to do for the certification for the election?
No, there is not. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you. And then, well, I'm happy that we have Joan and Sue and Bert on our board. They have tremendous responsibilities. that they are a valued member of our board. So I'm going to adjourn this meeting, okay? And Mark can leave, and I see Judith. They can stay if they would like, but Lynn will be able to vote. All right, so then this 56th organizational meeting of the corporate members of the Golden Rain Foundation, Laguna Woods of California Nonprofit Mutual Benefit Corporation, this Thursday, November 12th at 12:16. Laguna Woods, California. Meeting is called to order.
President Carpenter?
I can see we have a...
President Carpenter?
Yes?
May we
Yes.
take a 15-minute break for the Inspector of Elections?
Certify the election.
She needs to sign for the
Does she
certification.
need it?
Yes, for her to sign for the certification for the election.
That would be fine. That's why I asked her if anything else needed to be done for the certification, and she said no. So you're saying that we need to wait for 15 minutes in order for her to do the certification?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And we will be back at 1 o'clock.
Grant, please
Yes.
let me know how to get back in.
I certainly can, or
Please?
you may, if you would like, you can stay on, or you can use the same access that you used previously. It will be the same code.
What if our schedule doesn't allow us to make a 15-minute break work? Does this have to prevent our meeting from moving forward?
Yeah, Bunny, do we want to wait until 1, or did you mean 12:30 too?
Oh, I apologize. Yes. I read my clock wrong. 12:30.
So we can't run the meeting until this is all certified. Is that what I'm understanding?
That's what I'm understanding. That's what Grant has said. I think Jones verified that.
This is Cheryl.
Yes.
Can I explain?
Okay, Cheryl.
I have a spreadsheet that we use to tabulate the votes. I need an opportunity to print off that spreadsheet so Catherine Burkhart can sign it to certify the election. That's why we're asking for a short break, so I can print that off for her to sign.
So 15 minutes to print the spreadsheet, is that my understanding?
I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to print off the spreadsheet that has all the votes on it. She's going to sign it, and then she's free to leave. And then I'm going to come back to do the minutes for your organizational meeting.
She needs a break.
Okay. So you need the break. I see. Okay. That's fine. We'll be back at 12:30. And we will start over on our organizational meeting.
Good. I'm just letting everybody know I may not be able to attend the meeting.
You've got to attend the meeting.
Well, when you throw in surprise 15-minute breaks after running the first meeting for a half hour longer than scheduled, what am I supposed to do?
Wait.
That's a lovely thought, but it doesn't always work in reality.
Okay, we'll see everybody at 12:30. So, Grant was, since we're going to start in a minute, was Lynn able to get into the meeting?
She will be joining shortly. We were set to start at 12:32.
At 12:32?
That's correct.
Okay, she has arrived. Grant, are we ready?
We are ready.
Okay. And this is an open meeting. The 56th organizational meeting of the corporate members of the Golden Rain Foundation of Laguna Woods, a California nonprofit mutual benefit corporation. And I will put my camera on here. This Thursday, November 12th, Laguna Woods, California, the meeting is called to order. And we have a quorum. And there was a question whether this was an open or closed meeting, and it is an open meeting for the elections. So the next meeting, the next order of business is to approve the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Then the agenda is approved. Grant, are there any member comments?
I find the actual agenda, please. I'm looking online right now. Is it on the website?
Yes, it should also be on Granicus as well, and yes, on the website.
Okay, because I wasn't sent that part, so I will now look it up.
So, Grant, would you like to put the agenda on so that everyone can see it?
Sure, one moment.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Okay, the one I'm looking at, Grant, is for the 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Is that the one you're looking at?
Yes. But he's going to put the agenda on the screen here so everyone can see it.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to get into my computer. I've just come out of surgery, so I'm doing this on another way. Thank you very much.
Okay. So the next order of business is the election of officers. Okay. So I want to open up the nominations for president. Do I hear a nomination for president?
Madam Chair?
Yes?
Madam President, I nominate Bunny Carpenter for president.
I second.
Thank you.
I second. Excuse me, it doesn't need a second. We just put them on the list.
Yes. Are there any other, I consent, okay, to the nomination. Are there any other nominations?
Yes, Madam Chair. Don Frank.
Okay. You can't. Sorry,
no,
John.
only
Can I nominate?
Point of order. Point of order. Only
John,
GRF members.
Only, okay, I apologize. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you. Okay. Are there, Judith says LOL. Okay, there we go. All right, are there any other nominations for president? If there are no other nominations for president, we do not have to vote. So thank you very much. And I will do my very best, to lead and work with the boards and staff and all the mutuals in this coming year. So the next nomination do we have a nomination for the first vice president?
Yes.
Okay.
I nominate Egon.
Do you accept Egon? Egon? I see him. He said yes. Okay. Are there any further nominations for first vice president? If there are no further nominations, then Egon is our first vice president. Thank you. So we have a nomination for second vice president.
Madam Chair.
Second, yes.
I nominate Jim Frankel.
Jim Hopkins, you mean?
Jim Hopkins, right. Sorry.
Thank you. All right. Do you consent to the nomination, Jim?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, thank you. Are there any further nominations? If there are no further nominations, then congratulations, Jim. You are our second vice president. Now we open up the nominations for secretary. Are there any nominations for secretary?
Yeah, I nominate Joan Milliman.
Joan, do you consent?
I accept.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for secretary? Since there are no other nominations for secretary, Joan, thank you. You are our secretary. So the nominations are open for the treasurer. Are there any nominations for treasurer?
I nominate John.
Thank you. John, do you consent?
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for treasurer? If there are no other nominations for treasurer, then John, you are our treasurers. So the next item on the agenda, and I asked Cheryl about this ahead of time, it says entertain the motion to approve resolution of election of officers. So Cheryl, since we had no resolution to read here, how do we go about completing number 5?
I can have Grant put the resolution up on the screen, and then I can read it for you if you'd like.
Okay, that would be fine.
I can read it.
So I need to entertain a motion first. Is there a motion to approve the resolution for election of officers? But then I'll have to have Cheryl please read.
Madam Chair.
Yes?
I move we approve the resolution for the election of officers.
Thank you. So Cheryl, please read the motion. It's not normal that the staff would read it, but we don't have it in our packet.
I have it if you want me to read it.
Okay, that would be fine. Please. Yes, you read it.
Hang on just a second. Resolution 90-20-XX, appointment of officers. Resolved on November 12, 2020, pursuant to 3rd Laguna Hills Mutual Bylaws, Article 9, which sets guidelines, terms, and responsibilities for the election of officers of this corporation. It should have been Golden Rain Foundation. The following persons are hereby elected to the office indicated next to their names to serve. President, Bunny Carpenter. First Vice President, Egon Kartoffler. Second Vice President, James Hopkins. Secretary, Joan Milliman. Treasurer, John Pearlston. Resolved further that the following staff person is hereby, resolved further that the following staff persons are hereby appointed as ex officio officers of this corporation. Please make the changes. Jeff Parker, Vice President, ex officio. Siobhan Foster, Assistant Secretary, ex officio. Betty Parker, Assistant Treasurer, ex officio. Resolved further that Resolution 90-20-30, adopted June 17, 2020, is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are directed on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. I move we approve the resolution.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it. Lynn
second.
Stanley.
Oh, okay. There you go.
If there are any objections?
Yes.
If there are no objections, the motion is approved.
We need some Scrivener's corrections on that.
Where do you need Scrivener's? You mean on the resolution?
On the resolution itself, it should be for the Golden Rain Foundation, I believe. Our bylaw is not 3rd Mutual. And also it's plural for the ex officios. Staff persons are hereby. So Cheryl, do you have that?
Yes, I will make those corrections.
And, is it, okay, and check the date on the June 17th. Shouldn't it be last year? November?
The most recent update of officers was on June 17th of this year.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Grant. Okay, thanks, guys. That's it.
Okay, thank you. And I want to tell everybody, thank you so much for your patience through this whole meeting. It seems no matter what, with this technology and all of the issues, that sometimes it's hard for us to get through these meetings, but we get through them. So thank you, everybody, and have a great day, okay? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.